Welcome to the Author's Corner with A.C. Campbell. Join us as we take a tour around the literary industry with interviews and features within and throughout the industry. And now, the show. Welcome to an all-new Author's Corner with A.C. Campbell. I'm your host, A.C. Campbell, as always. Welcome to NaNoWriMo month. This is that month of November where I just know you got a project going. If you got a project going and you want to tell us about it, leave a comment, hit me up about it. If you want to talk about it on the air, let me know. But we're here, and today's AC's 2 cents, we're going to talk about my projects, and I'm sort of cheating a little bit, but yeah, we're going to talk about my projects. But today's show, we're also going to have a big treat for you. We're going to talk to Mona Altidort. She's an author, a book promoter. The Right Kind of Wrong, Part 1 and Part 2 with our favorite author, Katari. I mean, she co-written that book. She's doing a lot of stuff. We talked about writing. We talked about personal relationships. We talked about a whole bunch of different things. I just got to know this author intimately, and so can you. So when we come back, we're going to have part 1 of our interview with Mona Altidort.
Just who is author H.D. Campbell? He's the multi-gene author who can take you on several trips at once. With H.D. Campbell, you can have a romance, you can track a killer, or even stop an international incident. For 30 years and still writing, H.D. Campbell will take you on trips you've never been before. Learn more about him by logging on to hdcampbell3.com or check him out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Read his rewrites of How to Lose a Black Woman and Late Murder at 10 with a new title coming soon. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's called The Right Kind of Wrong.
The Right Kind of Wrong. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, I'm so excited. I'm getting everything wrong. So tell me, y'all got together, y'all did the second title. What, now, without giving any spoilers, what's different about this book?
Well, this is the part two from part 1, and it's gonna be the finale. So basically, we turn the story into a 2-part because of I wouldn't mind making it a standalone, but due to Decori's situation, so and then the story was a whole lot more to tell. So yeah, we decided to break it to 2 parts. So part 2 basically is the continuation from part 1, but it takes it to a whole nother level. Like like you're aware, like this is a love story, and it's a very unique love story where these 2 individuals, Quincy and Sakina, they were like from 2 different worlds. And Quincy was incarcerated serving life, and he was an inmate, and he basically, how in prisons they'll have books available on I believe it's called the pod for the prisoners. Well, basically, this is a love story. So in part 1, Quincy was a incarcerated author. He was currently serving life, and he he just happened to pick up an author's book one day on the pod. I believe that's what it's called. And he, picked up this book, he read it, and he was just so intrigued by the story that he became intrigued by the author, her words, and it was a attraction just from this author's words that grew and grew up to the point where he made a bold move one day and decided to write her. And so that was the beginning. The author, whose name is Sakina is a very complex woman. She is put together, but she, outside looking in, a person could be put together as far as like they have their stuff together as far as her career. She's a single mother. She takes care of her own bills. She takes care of her sons. She's actually a successful author. Had a successful bookstore. She's an entrepreneur. She appears pretty much gets, together. The only thing that wasn't, together was her love life. She just had this thing with picking the wrong men. And so when you introduce Sakina, you also I introduce, basically like who she is. You get a glimpse of what type of woman she is, what type of lifestyle she lived. Then I introduce, her love interest, who happens to be the wrong man. So yeah, so the story, it's a beautiful, unique love story. So in the end, it was a surprise. I don't want to tell too much of the story, just in case if anybody haven't like picked it up yet. But The Right Kind of Wrong is available on Amazon.com. But part 2 does continue with these two, and it goes to a whole other level. Part 2 has a lot of romance in it. Like it has a lot of passion in it, a lot of chemistry. So Corey, also known as Katori, we've been working on this for months. It wasn't our intention for part 2 to drop so late, and then Corey, he don't like to keep the readers waiting for too long. I mean, I don't either, but it is what it is. It was just a lot of ups and downs that mostly on my part that I couldn't always write when I needed to. So, but we're trying to wrap it up. It looks like it's gonna be towards the end of the year release. But part 1 was released in February, so it's a little interesting that part 2. So I call it, we're just gonna end the year, with a bang. So I can't wait for that. I know a lot of readers are anticipating it, so I believe it will definitely be worth the wait.
It will be. I want to take a second to let everyone know that our brother Kari, aka Kari, is incarcerated. We're praying for release here soon. He's an author. I mean, I've interviewed him twice on the show. And when I say that these two are a powerhouse together, right? I'm not just saying that because I've actually read one, and so trust me. And you do have a review coming soon, so stay tuned for that. My next question is, how do you two get together to put your story together?
Well, I mean, I write, he's, because of his situation, so we can't, and then he doesn't even have an email. So, we do 2 by 2, just like we did in part 1. This time, I think it was every 3 chapters each. But basically, it was the same as part 1. We, I do my chapters, but I can't send it to him directly. So I send it to his family member, Lisa, and then she sends it to him. And so, he sends his chapters to her, and then she sends it to me. So,
and I want to say that you guys get together. Lisa's also awesome for this. You guys do a lot of magic together, so that's one thing I love. That's why I wanted to mention that, because his books are amazing, and together you guys write some amazing stuff. And I hope to see you guys in the future write a little bit more. So, but this is your show. So I want to talk to you about
Right.
some of your titles. What are some of your latest titles?
Right. Um, well, do you want to start? What do you want to start with? Like my current.
Well, I want,
I have well, in addition to, well, the right kind of wrong was a story, was like my story, was one of my many stories. I have quite a few stories, like, you know, lined up that I have like many titles to tell. I have I once the stories form in my head, I write the titles down. So I have quite a few titles with half of them don't have stories. Then you have quite a few that do have stories. That's half of them. The ones that actually have stories are the ones that I went and got the covers done. So I have about 6 covers with
wow.
all half stories. So that I'm trying to, so I have one story, The Love You Save. I've been trying to release that for the past 2 Christmases, but it's like a Christmas theme, but it's not your regular holly, holy, jolly Christmas story. It's very, my stories always have a twist, very unique. So I'm trying to definitely get that released this December.
One thing I didn't,
Um,
no, you go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
one thing I didn't get a chance to do last time, and I don't know why, I never got personal with you. I never actually asked what actually fuels your story. What inspires you to write? What inspires the things you write?
Well, I'm what you call a romance author, but I'm not exactly contemporary. I'm more of a urban romance author, and I just part of me is a romantic person, but then I have a lot of stories to tell. I've been through a lot, and when it comes to affairs of the heart, so I just have a lot of stories to tell, whether it's like my personal experience or from people around me. And then I have a lot of stuff. I've always had a vivid imagination as a kid, so I just creative. A lot of creative stuff is constantly always coming into my mental. So I just got a lot of stories to tell. Some are based on realistic scenarios, and some are based on just stuff that I just come up with. But either way, I just have like a lot of stories to tell when it comes to, and I'm not your typical romance novelist. My stories are romance theme, but they focus around a lot of different relationship scenarios. Like it's not all lovey-dovey with my characters. I execute like real relationship up and downs that people go through. So I just like, I just that's where like, that's what fuel, just a lot of relationship, a lot of my own stuff, relationship, things that I've experienced, that people around me, and then I've been around some interesting people, and they have some interesting stories. So yeah, I've used some of their material.
So
So,
you admit you're a people watcher, you listen around for other people because that's how a lot of us do as authors. We listen, we
right,
observe, we watch, and we listen to other people's stories. It's like, oh, that'll make a good plot.
right.
Oh,
Well, realistic stories, they make the best stories. So,
so now my next question is: so you have your stories. Um, what do you? I guess my thing is, and I know we're talking about your children, but what do you feel is one of the best stories you've ever written?
um, Well, my very first book, um, my brother's wife. It's always gonna be one like my personal favorite. That story, you know, the title, I remember like, before that book was released, I was watching the readers, as the book was being promoted, I would look at the comments, and I remember some readers saying, "Oh no, you know, they see my brother's wife, so they just think it's just basically superficial, that this man is just going to be after his brother's wife." And but then you'll see, then I saw the same reader after the book was released, when they left their reviews or their comments. They were like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad that I didn't overlook this book, because the book turned out to be so much deeper, than the title. The story was so much deeper than, it's not just about a man and just going after his brother's wife. So the story was deeper than that. So yeah, my brother's wife is, one of my, just about, my personal favorite. I love The Right Kind of Wrong as well. But yeah, I love My Brother's Wife. Uh, it was a very heartfelt story. It's a 3-part. Then I ended up extending, like doing spin-offs off the other characters. So one of the characters, Desmond, I love to write about men, strong men, good men who have good hearts. I believe that men get dogged so much in stories, movies, they're still pretty. And then I've, had my, share of dealing with the wrong men, but I still believe that there are some good, great men out here,
Mm-hmm.
who know how to love a woman, do right by a woman. So I love to write about men with, that's why I love The Right Kind of Wrong. Now, The Right Kind of Wrong, DeCorey is the one who really developed the Quincy character. He developed, and he just developed him into this great guy that I would have developed him into. I really, love Quincy. Is Quincy, it's rare to see. You don't see men uh court go after a woman the way he did. He wasn't even gonna let a prison term stop him. He went after her, with confidence. He didn't care that he was serving life. And then even after, when she was having, doubts about him, he went out of his way. He went all out to show her, you know, um, that she, despite he appears to be, in the wrong form, he could be the best man for her, and he did. He showed her, he proved her, and he proved himself. He turned out to be the best man she's ever been with. Because of the way he loved her. He knew how to. Here is this man, you know, um, who's like in prison, and he turned out to know how to love her like no other man ever loved her. So I like to write about those type of men. So just about all my stories, the men are complex, but they're good, they're strong men. Even when they make mistakes, they're still good. I like, with good hearts. So uh in My Brother's Wife, I introduced a character named Desmond, and Desmond, I ended up giving him a spinoff. He had his own standalone called A Man's Heart, Desmond Story, and I love A Man's Heart, so I decided to take it back in time to tell Desmond's story. And I started from the beginning, from when he was a kid, from when he was 13. And the readers loved how, you know, the way I executed that story, even though I went back in time, but I, I, you know, took the readers, I really developed that character. I really wanted them to get to know Desmond. The the female readers fell in love with Desmond and My Brother's Wife. So when they asked for his standalone, they wanted to read more about Desmond, but they wanted to know more about him. So when I decided to tell his story, I said, let me take it back in time. And I started from when he was 13, a teenager. And then you understood after. I'm really proud of that book, A Man's Heart. That's like, my favorite, really, because I love how I go back and I read that from time to time. I feel like I really did that with that book. I really developed Desmond, and then you understood why he was the way that he was, and he was just like, just a great guy, a great character. And he just loved, even at a young age, he loved his teenage love. His teenage love ended up coming suicide. He just loved her so much that he spent, he spent years before he could really love again, really give a woman his heart, and then even before that, he spent 2 years not even, even being able to have sex after she was, after she killed herself. And I just wanted to, I wanted to make it realistic, but it for him to go years without sex would have been unrealistic. But 2 years, I feel like was realistic enough that some men can love that hard. Where you don't want, you can't, you like he just went through the grieving process where he just didn't want to be with nobody else. And then when he eventually started, dealing with women again, he never gave his heart. All he was able to give was, good time, sex, good time, and he couldn't give his heart for years. So the story is called A Man's Heart. So I really took the readers into Desmond's heart, and I love that story. So those are the type, basically, what I a lot of my stories are based on, like, men. I focus a lot on men, the right way to love somebody, the wrong way, the mistake they made, and how they can come out and still be, an extraordinary man, despite the mistakes that they made, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're gonna make mistakes, but it's how you come through with the mistake and how you're able to elevate and not repeat the same mistake. I believe there's good people who, good people make mistakes. I believe bad people, they don't make mistakes. They just do. They keep making. They'll do unthinkable acts, and then they'll continue doing unthinkable acts with no remorse. No regret. But you have good people who make mistakes, and if they, when the way they show their remorse is how, the way they come through it, the way they apologize, the way they show you that they're sorry, the way they elevate, they become a better person. That's how they're good. When you have somebody who keeps doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and just like a woman beater, he's not sorry if he keeps doing it again and again and again and again. And, after a while, I don't perceive that person as being a good man. Not when you're not even trying to change. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, So basically, yeah. So I don't know if I answered your question. Now I feel like I ended up rambling on.
Stay tuned after this break for more with Mona Altidort.
even after 20 years, readers are still captivated with How to Lose a Black Woman. Now, in its second printing, follow the story of Bruce Williams. Shall I say, mild-mannered school teacher in search of love? Using social media, prayer, and a lot of trial and error, Bruce fights to learn what a true relationship is all about. Filled with original poetry by H.D. Campbell, it's a lesson from one young man's point of view. Buy How to Lose a Black Woman on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, in your favorite bookstore, and even on his website at www.hdcampbell3.com. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Oh, actually, you answered my question. Actually, I was going to say, you make me admire you more. So I admire you a lot more for your answer. You didn't ramble. You actually just explained, basically, as a male and an author, it's good that you broke away from the stereotype of the male always being the villain. You know, we're always the cheater. We're always the one that's beating on the women. We're always the one that's not taking care of our children. You know, somebody dies, we're ready to have sex the next day. You know, we're not the villains. I like the way that you can actually create males that are still flawed, but they can still be good.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I love that. So I appreciate that of you. Now, unfortunately, this mail stalks your page a lot. So I do
Right.
apologize, but no, but I do it for a reason. You also produce a lot of authors. What do you do for other authors?
Well, I'm a promoter. I'm a book promoter. So I promote. Then I found other like book services falling into my lap, as far as like proofreading, editing, uh, helping with synopsis and uh, uh, out chapters outline. So I just found myself doing those as well, and just helping indie authors and new authors. So I guess you could, kind of say that I'm some type of mentor.
Some type of mentor. You're a great mentor because I see a lot of authors on your page. So you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say she gonna get mad, but I'm gonna say it anyway. She's actually being totally modest because I'm looking at as I go down her page, I see about 10 or 12 different author covers that aren't hers, meaning these are all authors that she has helped. So no,
Right.
you
Right.
can't do the modesty here. You do it very good. How can somebody get in touch with your services?
Well, my website is currently under construction, but they could, I have two pages. My real name is Mona Altidort, so I have my main page. So a lot, you can message me on there, and then the Mona Promotes page is the page that I spend a lot of time on, and you can message me from that page as well. And then I have my email. I've had, flyers. I have promo flyers. It has my email on there. So my website, is also on my old flyer. That flyer is also being revamped. So it'll be ready soon along with my website. So I'll be posting it on my page. But as of now, I could be reached, via both messengers. And then I also have authors who reach me on Instagram as well. They message me on Instagram. So my Instagram page is Mo Love Promotes. So you can message me on there, and then my email is mpp2018@yahoo.com.
Awesome, awesome. So, do you have any titles coming up? Personal titles?
Me? Okay, so besides the collaboration, the finale for the collaboration, I have a box set I'm working on. with another author. Her name is Crystal Armstead. So the book is called For the Cool in You. And Crystal and I were doing a 2-box set where we each have a story inside that book. So the book is called For the Cool in You. We have it on the cover, but each of our stories have their own title. I can't remember Crystal's title, but my title is called Southern Hospitality. And what's interesting about these 2 stories that Crystal and I decided to use our real life scenarios and base these stories on. You know, these 2 stories are just about, you know, the 2 women who had a tough time with relationships, you know, have been unlucky, unhappy with love, you know, just had, you know, bad love experiences, and then they meet men. So Crystal, based it on her real life situation, you know, she had like a hard, you know, past relationship situations, and then she fell in love 2 years ago. So she's like engaged now. So her story is like, you know, based on that. And then my story, you know, I'm, you know, really single right now, really. I'm single right now, but you know, for a long time I was what you call single. Like I just completely isolated myself from the male species. Or I wasn't dating, going out. I wasn't even talking to anybody on the phone. Like nobody had, you know, I just shut down for about 9 months, you know, and I just kept myself like isolated. Well, not even 9 months. I'd say around, okay, I take that back. About 4 months I had well, before December, I had shut down, and I had allowed an ex, you know, for a moment back into my life. It was very short lived. So then 4 months again, I shut down. And then, you know, around April, you know, somebody kind of like, I guess, you know, the term shoot their shot. It was interesting. And then that person didn't even shoot their shot per se. It was me and him talking, just came naturally, you know. I don't want to, you know, elaborate too much on him, but he's also in the industry. So basically, so me and him actually crossed paths back in November 2020. You know, he's somebody, you know, I do, you know, business with as well. So he's somebody that just brought a smile, you know, put a smile on my face, had me smiling again. You know, I was living like a nun, really, like just not talking to no man. And so he's somebody that I allowed to, you know, back into my space, as far as like, you know, he was able to get my phone number, and we, you know, we just talk a lot. We connected.
Well, you deserve it. I mean, everybody deserves. You definitely deserve happiness. You can't, you know. So there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. And you're single, so you're allowed.
Yeah, so technically I'm still single, you know, me and this person, you know, we're flowing. We're going with the flow. It's been a few ups and downs, but you know, we're just gonna let it naturally. I'm not gonna force it into something. I'm just gonna let it flow. And we've, you know, bumped head a few times, but this person has shown me that he, you know, really wants to be in my life, and he wants to continue to see where this could go. So I'm content with that. It just feels good to know that somebody. And then I've tried to push him away. You know, I tried to push him away, and he's like proven to me that he, you know, that, you know, continuing to interact with me, bonding with me, connecting with me is what he wants. So I'm allowing that to happen, let it flow, and whatever happens, whatever is meant to be will be. So
So from a guy's point of
And
view,
so but this person has, I've grown to care for this person, and he's made such an impact that I decided to base the story on him. So
but see, from a guy's point of view, if a guy is not giving up, if he's willing to get on your nerves, but not even get on your nerves, but if he's willing not to give up, he's a good. He has to make you a good guy. So, like I say, because you need a life away from the literary sometimes, to reset.
well, he's part of the literary world, but he also has other stuff going on for himself besides the book industry that are he has some very interesting stuff going on. And it's I'm like a part of that. This person, he's complex himself, but he has his energy. He has a good spirit, and spiritually, I'm very connected with him spiritually. He has a real good spirit, a good soul. I feel like he, naturally likes me, so we'll see what, but so this story is based on him, and it's just a feel good story, and I just feel so good about this person. I decided to write about him. I don't know if he's my soulmate or anything, or if we'll ever even, enter a relationship, but I know he's somebody that makes me smile on a daily basis.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because you actually answered my question too. What do you do, or what are your interests beyond writing? And
Oh.
so he's one of them. You have any more?
I mean, I don't besides writing, I like to go, I like to check out new restaurants, I love to I'm always, I love to take me to a place I've never been before. And I like going to like a nice, sophisticated, I like, nice restaurants, with nice setting, nice atmosphere, so they're like isolated. So I know this is one particular restaurant, and it's like, the setting is like on a boat, like on a dock, and I just love stuff like that. And then other than that, yeah, I like going to I like bowling. I like bowling, and I just like, exploring, going to. So I like to, um if I'm with somebody, I love spending quality time, like, showing me stuff I've never seen before, and then vice versa, allow me to show you some stuff too. But I just like, I'm not a really party club person anymore. I've done all that in my 20s. So, but I love to bowl. I love to just go and just, chill. And then I love to travel. I haven't traveled in my lifetime as much as I would like. It's something that I really want to really start doing as I'm getting older. But I love to travel, explore new places. So. Mhm.
That's beautiful. So now, my next question, my next last question is, so now, do you have anything? I know we're still in COVID, but do you have anything coming up as far as events, any virtual things or any special events coming up?
Do I have? Well, so I'm working on releasing. So I have, besides the collaboration and that box set, I have the Love You Saved that I'm trying to release for Christmas. I also have this other story, Thou Shall Not, that I've been trying to release for a while now. I want to release that, and I want to release it's a story called Imported Love. But I know I have my books that's going to be available in a local bookstore near me. I'm trying to get that done. And I want a few book events that I want to a 10 in 2021. So I'm just trying, but I know I have a sister who's getting married in February. I'm trying to go to Vegas for my birthday in March, but I know there's a book event in Dallas, Texas, that I'm trying to make that one in March. So I gotta purchase my ticket for that. So I'm just trying to make some events for 2021. But I know I definitely want to I got this book tour that I really wanted to do for myself, for my books. You know, because a lot of my readers are in the South. So they've been asking me for a while. So I don't know if it'll be ready for 2022, but 2023, I definitely want to put this book tour together.
Awesome.
You know, where I'm gonna be traveling to a few states, and then I'm gonna set up. I just need to find out, like, how do I just need to find out, like, do I do a bookstore in each city, or do I do you know, like, I'll find a venue, you know, to do a book signing, you know. But I know I definitely want to do a book tour. But when I go to each state, like, where am I gonna, you know, set up to, you know, to do the book signing, to meet the authors? So I got to work all that into play.
Awesome.
It's yeah, I had to do some research to find out, you know, if which state, which city has bookstores, and I'm trying to make that happen. So I had a magazine that I was supposed to be on a cover for December. I had to submit my pictures and my questions, and I've been like, you know, I've been kind of like stagnating with that, but that's supposed to be for the December issue. So I think it's called Strawberry Lit.
Oh, I know that. Okay, I know that. In fact, what I'll do is, if it I think what I'll do is I might actually display that on a future show. But I do have that. Awesome. So my final question is, you know, I always give you the last word. Whatever you want to say, shout out, advice, floor is yours.
Wait, what'd you say?
No, I always give you the final word, shout outs, advice, whatever it is, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. So you want me to give us a final shout out?
No, I always give you the final word, whether you give me the shout out or advice or whatever you want to say. For whatever you want to say, you can.
Oh, well, you know, I just want to. So my catalog consists of, you know, I really feel like a underachiever in this business. You know, I've been in the business for 6 years, but I only have like 12 books published, and I feel like an underachiever. You know, I feel like, you know, because I have other authors who's been in the business the same amount of time as me, and they have like, I know one author, she's been in the business same time as me, and she got like over 100 books under her catalog. You know, so with my little 12, I feel like an underachiever. So I'm definitely trying to release more books in 2022. But I really want, you know, to gain new readers and have, you know, readers check out my catalog. You know, because I feel like I'm a pretty good writer. So, and I got a lot of interesting stories to tell, and I feel like men and women can learn from my books, from my stories. You know, like I have like a lot of messages and stuff, and you know, I'm kind of like a complex person, and you know, so people think, you know, you're pretty much uh put together, but no, I go through a lot of struggles, you know, as a woman. So I get that across in my story. So I just, you know, I feel like my stories are very interesting. So I would really love for everybody to just, you know, one click, if you haven't one click me yet. So I gotta update my catalog is actually updated now. So I think the last release that I released was the right kind of wrong. So but I'm really trying to add to my catalog. I have a domestic violence story that I'm really pushing now. So, you know, October is considered Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I had released this story. It's called Why Me. I released it back in February. So I've been promoting it real hard this month. So I just hope for everybody to pick that up. And I have this new thing that I started on my Mona Promotes page. It's called Live Literary Talks with Mona. So it actually premiered about a couple days ago. So I don't. So it premieres. It premiered on my Mona Promotes page. And that's where I'll be holding, I'll be, chatting, holding interviews with, some of the greatest authors in the business. But the other day, I think I had one yesterday, and I accidentally went live on the Mona Altidort page. So I ended up conducted the interview on there. So the tape is still there. I have somebody who's who's gonna edit each live for me, so then I could put them on YouTube. So they'll be available on YouTube. I know you do editing, but I didn't know, if you knew how to edit, a live that was recorded on Facebook. So. Yeah, I didn't know if you specialize in that. So
mainly what I do, I have to convert it to something else, then edit it, then put it on Facebook. Then put it on YouTube. I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's possible. It can be done. So
okay. Well, I've heard an author. He's like, working, doing it for me. So.
I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for the conversation. I'm really loving it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I definitely I've been trying to get a couple of other authors to hit you up to come on here. So
come on.
My
Now I said tell them to come on.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to get this one particular person, the person that the story is based on. I've been trying to get him to come on here. So, he has a lot going on besides just, the book industry. Some pretty interesting stuff happening to him. So I would love for him to come and chat with you. But then, he's also affiliated with the book world. So, I would definitely love for him to come and chat with you. So I'm still trying to work on him. I had Gail. I don't know if he ever contacted you, but probably not. But I'm working on him.
See, when I give you the interviews, I'm letting you guys know you get to know the whole author intimately. And Mona Altidort is no exception. She's a powerful writer. She's a great person. She's a great author. Everything. She did not disappoint when we got a great interview. So, next is HC's 2 cents, but first, let's see who we got next on the Author's Corner. announcement. And next year, I'm going to actually start doing prepackaged 2 cents to where we're going to talk about different things. We're going to give you writing tutorials. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to be talking about ways to get your manuscript right. Ways to better time you manage your time, things like that. So it's going to be a lot less me talking and more of a package piece, and we'll discuss all that here over time throughout the rest of the year. But today I want to talk about your NaNoWriMo project. For those who don't know, NaNoWriMo stands for National Writing Novel Month, which is in the month of November, which we usually have a website with a word count and everything. It challenges us to get book projects together. Well, like I said earlier, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. I'm actually I'm wrapping up, I'm trying to wrap up a couple of my second printings of my books, while at the same time I got challenged to do a freelance project. I'm going to keep that under my hat by the 15th. Once that's done, I'm going to continue on with the other projects. So, I'm working on that now. Now, here comes the 2 cents. Don't let it overwhelm you. This is a challenge. Actually it's a great challenge. It's a challenge to see how much you can write within a month, and you actually can do it. It's all about time management. It's all about just believing in yourself. Because we all have a little time. If you work on me, you have a little time in the morning, you have a little time at night, have a little time when the baby's asleep, have a little time all the time. So, NaNoWriMo is about time management and the confidence to get it done. Because I know a lot of people that say, well, I don't know if I can do that. You don't know what you can do until you write those words down. Yes, I sound like this because I get that a lot. I don't know if I can do. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Don't come at me with that. So, this is a short one. Like I say, NaNoWriMo, if you have a project, keep at it. I would like to know more about it. Let me know in the comment section. And that's actually my phone. So, I guess that's it for the Author's Corner. Stay tuned next week when we have 2 more authors. Peace. God bless. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. And I'm going to get a shave. So basically, you'll see a less Grady from Sanford and Son, scraggly me. Have a nice day.